What's going on? It's another episode of Real Conversations Podcast. We got that special guest, like I told y'all we was gonna have. My man coming from Little Rock, Arkansas. You feel me? He got a lot of things going on from music, podcasts, marketing, good marketing and branding advice. And he been in the game for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some game from him myself. And we just gonna chop it up with him. His name is WordPlay TJ. I'd like to introduce y'all to him. You feel me? I'm about to bring him in. Y'all show love. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, and tune in. Y'all already know how we coming. Let me bring my boy in. What's good, bro?
What's happening? Thanks for having
What's
me.
up with you? Yeah, yeah.
Man, I
Nah,
am it's a long day for me.
okay,
I've been up
okay,
super early putting in work and yeah, that's what it is right now.
okay. Like I said, man, I really appreciate you, man. For taking your time out your busy schedule, your busy day. We actually had to reschedule. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for that. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's all
You know,
good.
it's just it slipped my mind. I had other things going on, but it's all good. We got back to it because it's meant to be.
Yeah,
So, like I
for
said,
sure.
man, I introduced you, but like we're gonna start it off from the beginning. I want you to let the people know, like where you come from, like your upbringing, your moral background, like what instilled you into the man we have today.
Yeah, so that's a lot. Maybe I can start off with growing up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and making music. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Wordplay TJ, hip hop artist and producer. I also run a label called On the Map Music Group, and it started all in Little Rock, Arkansas. If folks don't know much about Little Rock, it's a small town in the heart of Arkansas, and it was a big deal during kind of the crack epidemic, where bunch of folks from the West Coast came to Little Rock to sell drugs and started up a lot of gang wars. So if you ever been on HBO, you might see a documentary called "Banging in Little Rock." I grew up around that time where there was left and right drive-bys going up and down the street, and that's what kind of led me on the path that I'm on. So my grandparents kept me safe, my mom kept me safe, and so from there I started kind of dabbling in art. I stayed inside and just kept building my pen up, and then later on I got into music, and that's kind of where I am today. So a balance between the art and the music, making sure that I'm putting positive messages out there in the world, and making sure that I'm doing the best that I can to show folks that there's a different way to live life.
Okay. I really respect everything you just said. You know what I'm saying? Like you standing on certain things and that's what you own, and you're not changing your character, your morals for any amount of dollar. You know what I'm saying? As a black man, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? We
That's the
need to,
roughest way to grow, right?
you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
you
Real
know what I
talk,
mean?
real talk. But that's the thing. It's like, but them the people that last like forever. You know what I'm saying? Because it took
For
so
sure.
long. You got so many stories. You got so many experiences along the way. You know what I'm saying? So you know how that shit go. But
For
but
sure.
um but like I just want to say I really like that. I don't know if this your latest project, but that overtime take fire. I'm feeling that at the
Yeah.
top. I want you to like really take us in to that project, and what's like how long did it take you to make it, like producers, like even to the background, to like how much overall did the project take to make? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like on some
Yeah, so
like
my most recent project, Overtime, came out in 2020, in the middle of this pandemic, at the almost at the very start of this pandemic, right? So like
okay.
at the top, Let It Go, all the songs that you hear from that project started 2 years prior to that project. So like 2018 is when I started working on that work. And Overtime is a the end cap to a series. So there's a
Mm,
series of different albums where I talk about being in a position where I'm still working full time and pursuing this independent music career, and what that's like to have to balance the two things, right? You got to bring some income in order to make you know get the bills paid, but
right.
then you got to also invest in your dream. So what is that like to do without no investors, no private people like putting money into my pocket to do it? Like what is that journey to make it happen? And overtime is the last part of that journey. So at the top came from the feeling of being like, while you're striving to make
Mhm.
it on that journey, what does it feel like? It's pretty lonely, right? It's not something that you can do with a lot of friends around you, and sometimes you won't have the time to commit to your friends and other folks that you care about, but you can't have the same habits as them. And so that's where a lot of that overtime philosophy came from, and that's how long it took me to build that up. I led most of the production on there. There's a few other producers. My brother Prophet. We've been working together since forever, since my first single Breakfast and Biggie that landed me on MTV. And then
Mm,
another producer, his name is Diabolic, and he's from Kansas City, Missouri, and he did the last track, Daydreaming,
oh,
on the record. And so I just kind of I do most of the production. I usually handle most of it, and then every once in a while I'll reach out to some other folks to help me out.
okay, okay. So since you touched on the producing side, let the people really bring the people in and let them get a feel for what it takes to actually write the music, record it, and the instrumentals in the background, the beats, you know what I'm saying? Let them know like that. That's just not like, oh, I'm just going to up and wake up one day and just goddamn get the beat machine or get the Pro Tool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you're saying, man, it's not easy, right? Like it's just like it takes a lot of work. And so for me, I started making beats when I was around 17, and
Okay.
then I kept going at it, kept going at it for a long time. Found a mentor to help me kind of hone my craft in, and continue doing that. But also been writing since that same age, and so it's a balancing act, right?
Okay.
Once I start making it's does it sound good? Does this feel good? Am I able to write to it, right? And then the next step is actually writing, right? And going through that process. And I studied creative writing in college, and what I learned is that writing is all about revision. And oftentimes people just kind of write what's first on their mind, and that's cool, right? That's what you do. But
Mhm.
often, like, you got to get better. In order to get better at writing, you got to be ready to revise that writing all the time. And so, is there a better way I can say this? Is there a better way I can execute on that? Right? Is there a better way I can deliver this when I'm in front of the mic? And that's part of my process. And so then I get on the mic, I spit it. Sometimes it will take me a few hours to get it recorded. Sometimes it'll take me a few days to get it recorded, and I'll record it in batches. One day I might do the hook and never come back to it until years later.
Damn.
It really just depends.
It's
And then
about that. It's about
afterwards,
that vibe, right?
yeah, that's exactly right. If I don't have the energy, or if I'm not feeling that vibe, then I'm just gonna leave it alone for a second and step away from it. That's a good tip for any artist, right? Be willing to step away from your work. And then the last part is me actually engineering the record, right? Which is a skill that has taken me just as long as writing and producing to learn how to get better at. And so I engineer and mix and master the majority of my records.
Okay, okay. I mean, pretty much so do I. I pretty much do it all, but production. But I would like to work with you, you know what I'm saying, on some music. If we can get that done one day, you know what I'm saying? I like your
Hey man,
flow.
let's do it.
I like your message. You know what I'm saying? I really fuck with it. But okay, since we got over that, we pretty much broke that down. Let's talk about your podcast and where can they find it and things like that.
Yeah, so the podcast is called No Rhyme or Reason. It's on Spotify, Apple, uh, Google Play, Amazon, all those places. And what we do is talk about everything for no reason at all. It's just like a chill, laid back conversation. Me and my homie Icarus Gray, we talk and we make sure that we drop a podcast every week. And so if you're looking for it, find it at wordplaytj.com/NROR. And yeah, we just want to take current events, talk like figure out which one of those current events are most important to us, and then we talk about it. And we're pretty nerdy guys too, so every once in a while we'll talk about stuff that's game related
Mhm.
um or comic books or like kind of being creative and artistic. um and so we mix those two sides of our personality into the podcast and make sure that we can connect with the audience. And that's the bulk of the conversation.
Okay, okay. So, talk about the website. Like, what made you um think about coming with the website? What is actually on the website, and
Yeah.
like how did it like even the background? How, like what's the price like for people that just want to know, like the listeners?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're thinking about anybody, right, thinking about building their own website, you got to think about a couple things, right? For one, my whole philosophy is about owning the access to your fans, right? So if you don't own the access to your fans, who owns it?
Right,
Think about it, right? Like if you got a bunch of fans that are on Spotify and you got a bunch of fans that are on Apple Music,
right.
are you the real owner of those
Are
fans?
you the real breadwinner, really?
Exactly.
Uh,
And that's not the case when you don't have your own website. And so my website's through Squarespace, and and it's I would say, I don't know, on average about 30 bucks a month at the lowest.
yeah, same with mine
And
on Shopify. Same with
yeah,
mine.
Shopify, right? So you can use any of those things to create your own website. You just have to know what pieces are in place. So I have my blog where I make sure I put out content on a regular basis. I have my merch where I put out content. The podcast is there. The all my other products that I kind of make by hand. So I with the Overtime album, I did this custom box that
Yeah, I was
had
gonna
merch
get to that.
inside
I
of
was
it.
gonna get to that. Go ahead and tell them about the
Yeah,
boxing.
so the custom box, I put merch inside of it, and I only made 50 of them, right? And so the idea is that we sell these boxes 50 well no, I think there's 75 50s a bucks a piece. I can't remember the exact price right now, but we sell them for a good amount per box, and make sure that that's the it's a custom experience for every single fan. And then we ship them out and make sure that it's a collector's item ultimately. And so the idea
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
folks that don't open the box will have it for later, and be able to maybe even resell it if things pop off the way I think they are. Um, and so outside of that, there's me collecting fans on my website. That's a big proponent, something that I find that's important. Always make sure that you get your fans email addresses so you can contact them on a regular basis, and keep connected. And make your emails interesting, right? Nobody wants to read an email about, just kind of like, oh, this is the new thing I got. You got to make your email a little exciting.
mm,
Find find something you find interesting, and then email it to your folks and just say, hey, I found this new thing you might find interesting. You got to be sort of a service when you're emailing folks. And that's that's a lot to think about when it comes to a website, but it's definitely possible. It's all about building your brand and connecting across the web.
I feel you. I feel you on that. Well, yeah, that's really damn. You answered all my last couple questions in one little rip.
I mean, we
Okay,
could talk about
okay.
anything, bro.
Right. Okay. Since we did all that, that was just the, you know what I'm saying, the quick notes to the side. Now we about to get on some personal type.
Okay.
All right, so like explain to the listeners, okay, about product. Okay, I would say like one of the pivotal points in your life that you realized like you was okay, like rock bottom. Like how did you get out of that? Like how did like it was inspiration? What was your mindset at the time? And like, what was the overall outcome?
Yeah, so I think one of the lowest points in my life outside of just kind of, going through depression in high school and things of that nature was um after I so my first single Breakfast and Biggie was and I mentioned this before, was premiered on MTV. Sway and Ja Rule, they reviewed the record, said that they liked it, and basically just kind of initiate my whole career. Um, but after that, nothing really happened. You know what I mean? So the career didn't start like churning on its own. I thought that would be like my most viral moment. I thought, and this is where when it was easy to go viral, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that shit was just gonna take off, and
Right.
it didn't. And that was a super low point for me because I thought it was my fault. I had missed that interview because I was really really sick, and I spent the night in an emergency room. I woke up the next day, and I had missed the email saying that I was ready for the interview. And it turns out that, if I had just woke up a little bit earlier, I could have been on Skype with Ja Rule and Sway, and that was a disappointment to me, right? And so I had to take that L, and I had to use it as a learning opportunity. What I learned from that was that I can't take my health for granted. I can't take my time for granted. And I can't take my energy for granted. I gotta leave a lot of space for me to feel the best that I could possibly feel at most of the time, so I'm always ready. And so going through that made me realize how important it is to build your brand and have your brand solidified. And so from then on, like a few years later, I changed my name from just TJ to Wordplay TJ. I created music for the underdog, and then I started working on my profile on the web. So whenever you search me on Google, the first thing you see is my website. You'll see all my albums. You'll see my YouTube channel. You'll see my Twitter. You see my Instagram, all of that stuff. And I wanted to make sure my brand was on point because I studied marketing after I, kind of dropped out of college the first time. And once I fixed that, the only thing that you got to do from there is get people to know that you exist. This is why we're having this kind of conversation right now, right? This conversation is about making sure that more people know that I exist in the first place.
You're right. You're right. And that's why we linking up, emerging our brands. You know what I'm saying? Everything we both
Exactly.
get, you feel me? Your people can check out my shit, my people, you know what I'm saying? It's a
Exactly,
fair
exactly, and
exchange.
that's what I'm gonna do, right? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
Right.
make sure that I share that out. You're gonna make sure you share it because you think it's valuable to you, and I mean that's how it should go, right? A
Right.
lot of artists get it wrong. A lot of artists get it wrong. They do a track with somebody, they collaborate with somebody, and then neither one of the artists share. They just leave it. And I'm just like, man, you messing up the game, right? Because of the idea about networking is for you to like actually put it out and to share it.
Yeah. To work though, really, you
Yeah.
network. You know what I'm saying? Once you do the
Yeah,
netting, you gotta work with it. You know what I'm talking about?
exactly. You gotta put in the
Uh,
work. And some folks
uh,
some folks don't have it. They ain't ready. They ain't ready for the
Yeah, a
work.
lot of people ain't ready. Their mindset ain't ready. But like I said, okay, y'all can find us on Anchor app, Spotify, Google Play, um, Apple Podcasts. You know, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. This video will be on YouTube and our Facebook. It's on there right now. It's live. And we will have the audio up pretty soon, probably a day or so on the Anchor app, which will share it to all platforms. So like I appreciate you, man. Before you leave, can you get any more little words of advice, and can you just give a podcast a shout out?
Yeah, man. So I think when I think about advice, right, and you're an artist, right? So
Nah,
um the bottom line advice that I can give to a lot of artists or anybody that's listening that's into music is make sure you get your publishing. Make sure you get the back end of your business together. Because without that other side of the business, and like you were saying, right, you got to put in that work.
nah.
You're not gonna go anywhere, right? You can't just be on artist mode 100% of the time. You got to be on business mode at
Especially
least 80
nowadays.
20.
Especially nowadays.
Right, at least 80% business, 20% art, and make sure that you get that together. So shout out to Real Conversations podcast, man, and thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate I appreciate the time, and I appreciate you giving me the space to network and do the business.
All right, man. Till next time. Hope we gonna link up again. You know, hope we gonna link up
Most
again.
deaf,
Till
most
next
deaf.
time. Love.
Peace out.